Rapunzel, a tale of love, courage, and resilience. Once upon a time, in a land of deep, enchanted forests and towering castles, there lived a beautiful young girl named Rapunzel. She was known across the kingdom for her long, shimmering golden hair that flowed like a waterfall from the top of the tall tower she lived in. Rapunzel's story began many years ago when she was just a baby. The king and queen, her parents, were overjoyed by her birth. But their happiness was short-lived when an evil witch, angry with the kingdom, placed a curse on Rapunzel. The curse caused Rapunzel's hair to grow impossibly long and to carry powerful magic within each golden strand. Fearing that the witch might try to harm her, the king and queen hid Rapunzel away in a secret tower deep in the forest, far from the witch's reach. The tower was so tall that it seemed to touch the clouds, and it had no doors or stairs. The only way in was through a small window at the very top. As the years passed, Rapunzel grew into a kind and lovely young woman. She spent her days reading books, painting pictures of the forest, and singing songs that echoed through the trees. Her only companions were the friendly forest animals who visited her. She named each one Whiskers the rabbit, Feather the bluebird, and Fluffy the squirrel. Though Rapunzel loved her animal friends, she often longed for someone to talk to, someone who truly understood her. Far away, in a neighboring kingdom, there lived a brave and noble prince. He had heard whispers of a beautiful girl with golden hair hidden away in a tower. Determined to rescue her, the prince set off on a quest to find her. One day, while riding his white horse through the forest, the prince heard a sweet, angelic voice drifting through the trees. It was so beautiful that it stopped him in his tracks. He followed the sound until he found himself standing beneath a tall tower. At the very top, he saw Rapunzel, her long golden hair shimmering in the sunlight as she sang. Mesmerized by her beauty and her voice, the prince called out to her. Rapunzel, startled by the sound, peered down from her window. She had never seen anyone like him before, a kind face with gentle eyes and a warm smile. "Who are you?" Rapunzel called down. "I am a prince from a distant land," he replied, "and I have come to rescue you from this lonely tower." Rapunzel's heart skipped a beat. She had spent so long isolated in her tower, and the thought of meeting someone new, someone who wanted to help her, was both thrilling and terrifying. She leaned out of the window and let her long hair fall down like a golden rope, and the prince climbed up. As they spent time together, Rapunzel and the prince grew close. They talked for hours, shared stories of their lives, and found they had much in common. Rapunzel's songs filled the prince's heart with joy, and the prince's kindness made Rapunzel feel safe and cared for in a way she had never known before. They soon realized they had fallen deeply in love. The prince visited Rapunzel every day, and each time he left, they both counted the hours until they would see each other again. But all was not well. The wicked witch, who had cursed Rapunzel all those years ago, had discovered their secret meetings. Furious that Rapunzel had found happiness, the witch devised a plan to separate them forever. One evening, when the prince arrived at the tower, he called up, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." But instead of Rapunzel, it was the witch who appeared at the window. Before the prince could react, the witch cut off Rapunzel's golden hair and cast it aside, trapping the prince at the top of the tower. The wicked witch banished Rapunzel from the tower, sending her into the wild, untamed forest. Rapunzel, heartbroken and alone, wandered through the woods for days. Without her long hair, she felt powerless and vulnerable. But as she roamed, she discovered that she was much stronger than she had ever realized. Rapunzel learned to survive in the forest, finding food, shelter, and even new animal friends. She used her kindness, intelligence, and courage to navigate the challenges of the wilderness. As the days turned into weeks, Rapunzel grew stronger, not just in body, but in spirit. She realized that her true power didn't come from her magical hair. It came from her heart, her bravery, and her determination to keep going, even when times were tough. Meanwhile, the prince had escaped the tower and was searching for Rapunzel, refusing to give up hope that they would one day be reunited. He traveled far and wide, asking everyone he met if they had seen the girl with the golden hair. Though his heart ached, he never stopped looking. One day, while wandering through the very same forest, the prince heard a familiar voice. He followed the sound until, to his amazement, he saw Rapunzel standing beside a clear blue stream. Her hair was shorter now, but her beauty was as radiant as ever. The moment their eyes met, they both knew that their love had never wavered. They ran to each other, tears of joy in their eyes. The prince vowed never to leave her again, and Rapunzel realized that, with the prince by her side, she could face anything. Rapunzel and the prince returned to the kingdom, where they were married in a grand celebration. Their love story became legendary, proving that even in the face of hardship and danger, true love, courage, and resilience can overcome any challenge. And so, they lived happily ever after, their hearts full of love and their spirits full of hope. The kingdom rejoiced, and Rapunzel was finally free, free from the tower, the curse, and the witch's power. Moral of the story: this tale teaches us that true strength comes from within. Rapunzel's long hair was magical, but it was her courage, resilience, and love that helped her overcome the greatest challenges. Just like Rapunzel, we can find our own inner strength when we face difficult times, and love can guide us through even the darkest moments. Follow-up questions and answers for children. How did Rapunzel and the prince's love help them overcome the challenges they faced in the story? Answer: Rapunzel and the prince's love for each other gave them the strength to keep going, even when things were tough. The prince never gave up searching for Rapunzel, and Rapunzel found the courage to survive alone in the forest. Their love brought them back together. What do you think Rapunzel learned from her time alone in the tower, and how did it shape her character? Answer: Rapunzel learned that she was stronger and braver than she ever thought. Even without her magical hair, she discovered that her real power came from her heart, her intelligence, and her kindness. This made her more confident and determined. In what ways can we find courage and hope, just like the prince, when we face difficult situations or challenges in our own lives? Answer: just like the prince, we can find courage and hope by never giving up, even when things seem hard. When we believe in ourselves and trust in the love and support of those around us, we can face any challenge with bravery and determination.